there's only one person in Massachusetts to go to, and that is Blast Magazine's Neely Steinberg, a regular participant in our That's a Wrap. Neely, welcome to the show. Thanks for fitting us in. I know you're busy today trying to counsel your college clients that their time is running out.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you for having me.
So have you read the Miss Patton's?
I did. I mean, it's been everywhere, so how could you not see it? I think, I don't think that this poor woman should have her name dragged through the mud for merely having an opinion. Can we not just have an opinion anymore?
No, we can't. We're beyond that. So now let's get to the dragging, okay, Neely Steinberg? Isn't she 100% right about women and the opportunity you have in college?
Well, frankly, I don't think her comment, again, I don't think she should be dragged through the mud for having an opinion about when to start looking for a partner and accused of wanting to turn the clock back to the 1950s. Her comments don't mean that she doesn't necessarily also encourage women to study hard and have great careers.
Sure.
But I think she's saying college can be a great time to look for a partner. Having said that, though, Michael, I just don't think her comments make all that much sense for today's college students.
What do you mean? When are you ever going to be? Let me ask you a question, then I will shut up. When are you ever going to? Yes, I really will. When are you ever going to be in a place with as many people who have as much in common as you do, who you aren't already related to, and so that's a problem? When are you ever going to be in a place like that, other than college? You're never going to have this density of people, PLUs, people like you.
I completely agree with that, but personally speaking, and I think the same goes for a lot of women out there, if I married any of the men that I hooked up with or dated briefly, I mean, frankly, there was not a lot of dating going on when I was in college, but I'm not sure that I would have made a good choice because who I am today is so incredibly different than who I was at 19 years old. Now, I'm a huge proponent of starting your search for love and a great partner early on, as opposed to leaving it until your, say, early 30s. And I think young women today have been sold this message that, you need to focus exclusively on your career, and by doing that, you can't focus at all on finding love. And I think that's bunk. I think you can do both at the same time. You can focus on relationships in your 20s at the same time as you're building a career, but starting in college at 19 years old to find a husband, that seems a bit on the young side today.
But then you're 22, 23, and here is the natural truth. College graduate, women who are college graduates have a first marriage divorce rate of just 20%. Non-college graduate women have a divorce rate of about 30%. And first marriages that take place while women are in college, now that I need the number, I can't find it, but it is not uniquely low, but it is lower than the average divorce rate for first marriages. And I have to put everything into first marriage because people who get divorced once tend to get divorced again. So to compare apples to apples, the fact is that one of the most successful models for marriage is for a woman to go to college, get married before she's 25. The chances of divorcing are relatively low, and the chances of being economically prosperous are higher.
You're always arguing against going to college. You think it's a waste of money. Now all of a sudden you're saying that's a great thing to go to college because that means you're going to get married and stay married.
Hey, look, if you go to college and you get a husband, at least you got something for your $100,000 in debt as opposed to nothing.
Well, I have a stat here that says 60% of people who marry between age 20 and 25 will get divorced.
That's true, but they're not going to college. That's the whole point. That number is heavily skewed for people who get married out of the trailer park or whatever and already have a kid when they get married and blah, blah, blah. The fact is the lifestyle that's being led by these same angry feminist liberals is the lifestyle that works. Many of them did go to college. Many of them did marry someone in their same socioeconomic strata. Someone they either met through college or through the circles they made in college. Most of them avoid divorce. Most of them don't raise children out of wedlock. They have great lives. And then they spend all day saying, but you don't do what I did. Go ahead and party it up, girls.
Well, listen, I think in general it can help in relationships to be of the same intellectual level. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that means that a person who, and I think this is why the article rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because it sort of had an elitist bent to it.
Right.
She's sort of saying that a person who went to a state school can't be extremely intellectual and intelligent, and of course that's totally wrong. And listen, I'm a dating coach. It's different for different people. Maybe one person values intellectual curiosity and level of education in a partner. and not having that is a deal breaker. But for another person, she like cares so much about that, and it's, to me, it's really about the individual knowing herself or himself and having clarity on what and who she's looking for, and thinking more deeply about what qualities are really important for a long-term relationship. And how do you know that when you're 19 years old?
Are you going to pair in your professional life a college graduate woman with a guy who works security at the mall?
I would never tell anyone what they should or shouldn't want.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you, as a pragmatic issue, are you going to pair a college graduate, an elite college graduate woman in particular, with a guy who works security at the mall?
I am telling you that I would never tell a client, this is who you should want. I'm
not saying who you should want. I'm saying
for themselves.
Being pragmatic about the best outcome, knowing what women want. Are you going to compare? Are you going to pair a smart, accomplished woman with a high school graduate dope?
In general, that's probably not the best match.
Now, why
again,
not?
I would never.
Why not?
I would never put my biases on someone
Why
else.
not?
Because
Why
it's
not?
their life to lead.
Why not?
And frankly, I do work. I coach a lot of smart, successful women, and I've talked to a lot of smart, successful women out there. And the fact is that many of them don't want to marry someone below their educational, intellectual level. But men have been doing that for years and years.
Now let me turn it around, Neely.
Now, it's something that they might want to open themselves up
to. Neely, now answer this question. You've got the 28-year-old successful MBA holder. Are you going to hook him up with the Hooters waitress? Yes or no?
I think I've already answered the question.
The answer is yes. Of course you are. And that's all this woman is saying, is that she's saying that men have different desires out of relationships than women do. So, of course, you hook up the MBA.
It works different. It works the same way. A lot of men today now want their intellectual and educational equal.
Sure they do. Yeah.
Do you not want somebody who you said you married someone smarter than you?
I did.
So,
absolutely.
You're a perfect example of that.
I can't even compete, but I'm the exception that proves the rule, because obviously we're generalizing here. You have to generalize to have a conversation. And generally speaking, as she says, guys don't care. Now, I want to ask you about one more thing that she said, because this is what, first of all, I had a mom come up to me, Neely, and say, if I find out that my daughter is in college trying to find herself a husband instead of studying, I'll bleeping kill her. I mean, moms are really angry about what this mom wrote about their daughters. Yeah. But the other thing that's making people mad is the age formula. She says when Neely shows up as a freshman at Harvard, she's got 4 classes of guys, freshman, sophomore, junior, to work with. But after she becomes a sophomore, she's down to 3. Junior down to 2, then down to 1, because guys are not going to marry women older than they are. And so the class of the tray of potential items, dishes on the tray goes down every year. Do you agree?
Well, okay, first of all, I think moms are angry because they were put in the position when they were of college age. People told them you have to go to college to find a husband. And that limited them in so many ways. It limited their, educational achievements, their career desires. And so now they see, this woman kind of telling young women the same thing, and I think they have a knee-jerk reaction. So I can understand that. And as far as older, I don't think young people today care about that at all. I think a freshman guy would date a junior woman in a heartbeat. My boyfriend is 4.5 years younger than me. I don't think that,
You cradle robber.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh, this is terrible.
I think maybe, 10 to 15 years, that's an age difference. But 18 to 20 years old, there's really not much of an age difference with that. I don't believe that.
Oh, well, that's why I wanted to hear from you, because this is the argument that she's making. So my last question to you. If a woman could either, A, guarantee herself a magna cum laude degree, or B, guarantee herself a marriage, which one would be the better outcome for college?
I would go with the degree, the magna cum laude.
Wrong. No one gives a crap if you have a magna cum laude.
Who is finding their lifelong partner at 18, 19 years old?
21, 22
you don't even know who
years
you
old?
are. I'm a completely different person than who I was. If I had chosen the boyfriend who I was with in college for 9 months, we dated, to be my husband, that was the guy I was going to marry. We'd beat each other's throats. It'd be a nightmare.
Well, because you had lousy taste in men is not. It's not a problem, Neely. So that's why you had to go to the high. That's why you had to go to the high school and dig up some poor kid who didn't know what was going on in the world.
Most people that age have a lot of choices in men because they don't know who they are. They don't know what they want. They don't know the qualities that are necessary for a long-term, healthy, happy, committed relationship, and they find themselves in their 20s. I'm not saying put it off until you're 35 and then the clock is ticking, biologically speaking. I'm saying you can get started with looking for a partner in your 20s.
You fish where the fish are, and you hunt where the ducks are, and you'll
I'm
never
not saying it
have
can't happen.
as good a shot as ever. You tell all your friends who are in college who are juniors and seniors, don't worry about it. You'll meet some guy later at the bowling alley when you're 27. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. It'll all work out.
Certainly, I would say, to think about these things, and yeah, if you meet a great man, sure. But for the majority of people in college today, it just doesn't work like that.
Neely, why do you put up with my abuse?
Michael.
I don't understand it. You're so nice.
Because I love you, Michael.
Well, you are the best. I really do. We got to get you over here for That's Wraps and get you some more cozy gift certificates, okay?
Absolutely.
You got it. By the way, how can people reach you for life coaching?
Oh, yeah. My Twitter handle is at Neely Steinberg, and then my website is neelysteinberg.com.